This was for the defunct, potentially going to be relaunched Tesla code as Tesla code or something else. Now, this opening could be compared against what we know did hundreds of millions of dollars in profits as a VSL. So let's look at this first.
What if you could instantly tap into a new way to manifest the life of your dreams just by wearing a regular pair of headphones?
So here we're 8 seconds and 3 seconds past the 5-second skip. Took me that long to kind of get interested. I would have sped that up, but
what if
one,
you instantly tap into a new way to manifest the life of your
so here we have the life of your dreams at 5 seconds. So if I'm looking, scrolling on my Facebook, scrolling on the TikTok, on YouTube, or seeing a YouTube pre-roll, I have to be grabbed. I have to be able to mirror neuron, empathize, see myself in. We literally have empathy cells. If you are not triggering people's empathy cells in the first few seconds, 5 seconds tops of your VSL, of your video advertising, and a VSL, video sales letter, long streaming letter. So when we hear the term VSL, we think of long form VSL. That's not the way it is anymore. I'm going to show you, actually, let me show you the, let's just play this a few more seconds.
Dreams, just by wearing a regular pair of headphones.
So I started out with mechanism. So it's the same old, but headphones. That's where the dopamine comes from. No matter what it is that you are putting in front of your prospects or somebody else's prospects, in front of the consuming public, I have to be able to immediately see myself in it. You got to trigger my empathy cells. If you don't, it's lost money. It's skewed metrics. We want to nurture our metrics, which is one of the reasons why the first few seconds of any VSL is the most important. And I will show you my positioning prompts. If I forget, remind me. What time is it there, Santos?
I think it's just past 4:30 in the morning.
Jesus Christ, dude. You are.
I set an alarm for this specifically. I really had to be here because, you could just miss out. Why would you?
Damn, I love you. Okay, so here's a few more seconds.
Wouldn't you want this technology if it really existed? I'm Mark Fischetti. I personally use SS technology to rewrite my brain and create the reality of my dream.
So I've lived the manifestation lifestyle since I was a kid, since I was 9 years old, 10 years old. And I have unpacked that story before in this one over here, which is 15-minute manifestation.
I tried the law of attraction. I spent a fortune on seminars, webinars, and books, and fell for every single make money online scam there is. Now I'm more broke and broken than ever before.
Said the struggling father of four.
I feel like there's an invisible force field stopping me from...
I actually don't think this opening is... There was a few of them that performed, but the one that performed the best, I think, was just going straight to here.
This is a subatomic particle. This is what you're made.
By the way, the very first time I heard this voiceover, I said, redo it. And here it is, it became millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars later. I still hate it.
This is what reality is made of. This is what everything you want and everything you don't.
So symbols are powerful. This is a low awareness, high sophistication symbol. This symbol today, I don't think would work. This made all that money. I don't think this would make very much money today. Yeah, I wouldn't even pay attention to it. Pay attention. I wouldn't even pay attention. It took too long to get anywhere where I felt any dopamine. It was taking for granted people's attention. And that's interesting because what year did I write this? This was like 2015, 2014, 10 years ago. So
a decade.
Yeah, I mean, that shows how, and Facebook advertising was just starting to get sophisticated, to really, to really spend money on there. It took, for me, a few years. When did they launch Facebook ads? I forget. Anyway, this ran on Google. And what's interesting about this, even today, when we run any new offer, any new VSL, we have to let it run. We have to let it season the pixel. It wasn't so much about seasoning a pixel back then. Because I mean, quite frankly, there wasn't much pixel technology. I think the first time I heard about pixels was 2015 at Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego with Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher. That was pretty badass, and it helped me make a lot of money, and it helped me devise the way that I make VSLs today, which is very different. I can still write these, and these still can work. These will work. Direct response will always work, but with technology the way it is and information the way how fast it goes, and what quite frankly people are used to seeing, raw is better. And I'm going to show you a few examples of exactly what I mean and exactly what can make you money today. So, no, not literally today, but you can start building to make money very quickly if you hustle. But if you apply this stuff, it doesn't take much time or energy to make a VSL. I have made 3 VSLs today.
Wow.
All the way through, shot, edited, posted. Right?
Cool.
So
Yeah.
what we think of, back in like this VSL, this took like 6 weeks to get produced, and it's shitty.
Want looks like before it becomes the house, the car, and the life you want.
So
Within
this though made all those tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. So obviously we did something right. Going back to what I was talking about, symbols. Symbols create automatic association. So even though this was a low awareness, high sophistication symbol, I immediately made it something that people are like, wait a minute, everything I want's in that. And that's where the dopamine came from. Again, there would be more effective ways of doing this today. And we can even use the positioning prompts to see exactly what that means because, well, I wrote it, I have the copy. We'll do that. Just around the same time, so let me close that out. Otherwise I will. So right here around that time, I wrote this for Brad Callen. This was huge, not just on Google. Oh, and by the way, I didn't finish the Google Pixel thing. You got to train the Pixel. You got to season it before you get your investment back. So you put those ad dollars in. You better be prepared to run shit for a month because 15-minute manifestation didn't make any sales for almost a month, and then it popped, and then it became the juggernaut that it was. I don't know what it is now. I think it's defunct. So this is just an Argelian cream, right? So you put it under the eyes, you fan it 90 seconds. If you see a lot of the VSLs back then and a lot of the VSLs today that sell these creams, they'll do the 90-second timer and they'll do one side of the face. So I mean, I'm like a perfect example because I got swelling. So I put some on and then it would create that immediate anti-aging effect. And that right there today, if you do that and 4, 5, 6 different people are able to exhibit that, you're able to have a VSL message, using those things as B-roll and even as testimonials. You're able to make a VSL that is fast. I mean, 60 seconds, you can get that done. This was 17 minutes, but this thing not only made a killing on millions on Google, but it also did amazing in the affiliate space. I had affiliates reaching out to me for tools, and I wasn't involved on that, on the affiliate side, so I wasn't writing the tools, but it was just interesting to see how all the big super affiliates were all about it. And once again, we just went 5 seconds and not a word spoken. This would not perform today, but again, this made millions.
Thank you.
By the way, you're seeing on the TikToks, Santos, you're not in TikTok. You don't get it. You just don't get it. But they're using celebrity likenesses, in the we have a mastermind. In the mastermind chat, I told Sava you can't use celebrity likeness. But if you go on TikTok, they are using their phone and just filming a celebrity talking about something and then using it in their ad, like they're talking about, let's say, NMN on Joe Rogan, and they're using that clip to sell their product, and that's illegal. It's an implied claim, and yet they're getting away with it, and it's all over the place. In fact, Ella was saying it's some of the top performing ads, and I'm actually going to try it. I'm going to see what's going on with that, and I'll tell you more about that. But you can see in this so far, I mean, we're 12 seconds in, and I wouldn't even watch this. Again, it made millions, but watch.
But Mark, do you think
indicators
when
of
it
your
comes
aim and
to
attractiveness, but they often lie.
people on the other side of 15, do Do you think
What was
there are
that?
less? I was wondering whether people on the other side of 50 and 60 who are really the target audience,
Hmm.
do you think they have less ADHD and they might, look into the first 5-10 seconds more than
Who-
we do? I mean, we are
Who are
trained
you,
eyes, right?
who are you asking about?
I'm talking about the target audience. So because there is nothing being said in the first 5-10 seconds.
Oh, this, yeah. So this to me, by today's standards, this is an epic fail. If we started right at here,
Of your age and attractiveness.
and I know we tested that, and I know we also tested a lot of other leads, which we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, this did really well on Google Display. So and there was no interstitial pages. There was no advertorial quizzes, assessments, lead mags, free sample. Oh, actually, no, there was a free sample campaign, but that it made a lot of sales, but those aren't. I hate those. But again, the eyes, the central point of this positioning being everything to a VSL performance, especially today. The positioning is the eyes will reveal your age the most. So as long as I can convey that message and get people to raise their hands to it, like today, let's say I'm doing like a podcast style VSL. So guys, we all know that our eyes tell women our age the most, right? We might use some hair dye. We, use the anti-aging cream, but the eyes don't lie. They're the biggest signs of aging or looking old than any other part of the face and the body. And women look right at the eyes, and they can see if you're aging. And so we want to look vital and youthful. We don't want women or anybody to see an old man. It doesn't matter how old we are chronologically, our eyes never have to look old. And believe it or not, you can replace the peptides that we lose and the collagen that we lose. Collagen is what creates that plumpness, type 1 collagen especially. We can get it back, and we could revolumize the eyes and fool everybody. Nobody's going to know your true age because, again, if the eyes don't lie, it works for and against you. Let's make it work for you, right? Then I get in the mechanism. So that would be just a quick off the dome, easy way to convey an ingredient, a hero ingredient, what it does. A good thing to always do in a lead is anchor down to a deeper core. The deeper reason why I'm in this mess, you cause it. The reason why everything else didn't work. And people need to know that. They need to be able to reconcile that, why it didn't work, because they spent a ton of money on that shit. So tell me why. Excuse me. This is one of my favorite. I'm just showing some openings just to grease the wheels, even though we're already 20 minutes in. Whatever. What is time? Now, everybody poops. By the way, the song. I think you already heard this joke, Santos. So just pretend. The song "Everybody Hurts" by REM. Everybody hurts. Everybody hurts. That one. Well, let's do it with poop, and let's bring in the sun time. So it's everybody poops, and then when they're constipated, sometimes drink perfect flush. Whatever. So things are dead. But watch this.
Hi, my name is Dr. Charles Livingston, and in today's free presentation, I'm going to talk about something embarrassing.
Charles was an interesting guy. I wrote for a number of his. The True Vitality was actually his partner. They broke off and did their separate thing. But he always liked having himself announced right at the beginning. I want my authority to be at the top. Now, if you know anything about heuristic copywriting, authority is a puzzle piece. Authority can create automatic association. If a person believes that a doctor is the most appropriate person to listen to for health advice, then this can work really well. And it still works well today, although you absolutely do not need a doctor to be the face and voice of your supplement or your health company. That is, those times are past. Yes, it still works. Yes, you can still scale it. And no, you do not need it at all. I can sell a supplement, let me just pick one that I have around. Actually, here's one. I did a video on this. Let's see. Is your woman getting yeast infections every time you do the nasty? You're giving her that yeast infection. And in fact, I think it's 70 or 75% of women's yeast infections are coming from their asymptomatic male partner. That means they don't have any symptoms. You're doing it to her, but it affects you. So you want to have a life that is hot. You can, do the nasty and things aren't nasty down there for her afterwards. This is structured alkaline silver. Now, let me tell you something. Actually, wait, I got to get my mic. Let me tell you something about women's yeast infections. I just told you they get them from men who are asymptomatic. But did you know that chronic recurrent yeast infections in women are because of candida overgrowth in the gut, deeper core, right? Candida overgrowth in the gut plays out in every part of the body, and they thrive on sugar. You know what else thrives on sugar? Your yeast infections. Yeasts are candida. Now, when we eliminate the candida overgrowth from the gut, you can see a rapid decline in your yeast infection, UTI symptoms, reproductive health. There's all kinds of happy consequences when we get rid of that candida overgrowth in the gut. All right, so how do we do it? This is structured alkaline silver. I mentioned that. Now, this is not colloidal silver, first of all. This is called meeting an objection, a known objection, aware of what the audience is aware of. If you bring up silver, they usually think of colloidal silver. This is not your normal colloidal silver. This colloidal silver metabolizes. That means it metabolizes in the lymph. That's why people turn blue or gray. This doesn't metabolize. Colloidal silver, one ion neutralizes one candida cell. Structured alkaline, one silver ion can do 10,000 candida cells. What's amazing is the structured water gets through candida's biofilm. This biofilm has become antibiotic resistant, which, by the way, is also a hook. Positioning is the hook. Antibiotic resistance is the reason why you have yeast infections. Boom, right? There's the opening line of a VSL. That would make a lot of money right there. The structured water gets through the antibiotic resistant biofilm, so you don't have to take antibiotics. In fact, here's another hook. Did you know the first time you took antibiotics, it was like dropping an atomic bomb on your gut, getting rid of all the good bacteria and all the bad bacteria, and especially candida, move right in, baby. Now, the silver ion, when we get rid of the biofilm, ruptures the cell like an amoeba, like a balloon, a water balloon, and you just pee or poop it out. That's how easy it can be to potentially get rid of chronic yeast infection symptoms. That's called hedging. There's a whole bunch of it. Re-listen to that. But that's how easy to do this stuff. But keep watching here.
Poop. Actually, poop that accumulates in your colon, pushing your stomach out 3, 4, even 6 inches more than normal.
So the deeper core in this script is fecal impaction. When there's so much poop that builds up in the large intestine that it accumulates. And when people get constipated and they can't get it all out and they can feel it in there, and it's just like it distends the stomach, they look pregnant, and then they finally poop it all out and their stomach's flat and they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Everybody knows pooping is amazing. Pooping is wonderful. Pooping is something every single person on this planet loves to do. I don't care how beautiful the woman is, she loves the poop. Now, this would do much better, today with, did you know you have 15 pounds of poop potentially lodged in your large intestine? It's no joke. It can expand. Elvis Presley was famously known for having 50 pounds of poop impacted in his large intestine. And whether or not that number is real, he had a lot of poop. He actually died on the toilet trying to poop, had cardiac arrest, and, well, we know the rest. That rhymed. So there's lots of ways to get into the conversation these days.
I'll also reveal the top 7 causes for chronic constipation. Now, these are
Now, Dr. Charles Livingston loved doing 3 things, 1 thing, 7 things. So, I integrated that into it. He did that with Livlean, which did tens of millions of dollars on Google display. Anyway, doesn't matter.
specific reasons the majority of all Americans develop a poop.
This right here was another one with them. And I always just love this opening. Again, this opening today would not fly, but it's so interesting to look at.
The classic one.
Again, today wouldn't fly. Just 2011.
Oh.
Something like that. By the way, the best headline I've ever had for a VSL is turn your speakers up.
Obvious, but not so obvious at the same time.
Yeah. Now we can do so much with the thumbnail that's on the thumbnail. I mean, Jesus.
Yep.
So this was all about dark spots. And so dark spots start underneath the skin. It's cellular turnover. A cell's born and it takes anywhere from, for adults, let's say 15 to 90 plus days to reach the surface. Multiple cellular turnovers are needed for dark and bright cells to reach the surface of the skin. That's why we exfoliate, to speed up cellular recycling, cellular turnover, to get those new cells to the surface of the skin faster. Now look at the little girl. So we saw underneath all those women's skin and all that dark pigment, all that melanin. Look at her skin. There's no damage underneath, which is free radical damage. It's oxidative damage. It's literally rusting. So again, you know, I mean, here we are. We're 2 minutes in. There's not a word yet spoken. Again, this made money. All right, a few more. I'm not gonna bother with that one. If you're a copywriter, you might find this interesting. This was a VSL I ran on cold traffic and made a lot of money with.
What if there was a way to predictably scale your next campaign on cold traffic? So it's not just converting today, tomorrow, or next month, but 5 years from now too. Wouldn't you want to know how? Because if so, this just might be the most important video you watch all year. My name is Mark Pachetti. I've been a professional copywriter for the last 15 years, and I produce millions.
So in this, I'm actually leveraging that I worked with ROI machines. I was the head of copywriting. They hired me as the head of copywriting. I lasted 1 week because it was a shit show. If you look shit show up in the dictionary, you will see a picture of me pulling out my metaphorical hair. I actually never had hair. I was born bald, believe it or not.
Which means that's every imaginable vertical. Niches such as health and supplements, dating, self-improvement, MMO, digital marketing.
So there's lots of ways to get people's attention, and we're going to get into the specifics. Just one more. This is another oldie, and the reason why I'm showing old ones, this is still up. That's what she said. This is still running today. And I wrote this in 2015.
If you're like most women I've shown the surprising secret to, you might find what I'm about to say a little hard to believe, but I stumbled upon the hidden loophole that makes or breaks any romantic relationship or any potential relationship.
So I've gotten ripped off a ton with, you know, this part of the brain for manifestation, this part of the brain for male seduction. My dopamine mechanism has been freaking ripped and misused so many times. But I did it here. This is Jordan Hall, who a lot of people know. Cool dude. From what I remember. And when I read the book that people get when they buy it, you know, and I was honest with him, you know, this crap, shit. I was still a shameless whore. Give me a lot of money, I'll write for you. So I did. And the first thing I wrote, he rejected. It had potential. Would it still be up today? I doubt it. So maybe he made the right choice. I don't know. I don't know. It was never tested. But here I'm talking about dopamine, that women lose men's attention because they no longer trigger his dopamine mechanism. Dopamine is what makes us chase, and it's also the reward. Dopamine is, if for a man, if a man has ED, if you're doing a campaign, a supplement for ED, what ingredients trigger dopamine and regulate serotonin? So instead of going after just testosterone or menopause, which I'll show you in a second, you can go after the neurochemicals that are involved with the fire. Dopamine is the fire that makes a man want to. It's also, believe it or not, you know, right when a man is about to come, his dopamine goes, ooh, and then right about he's about to come, just plummets. That's why after the man comes, he's just like, because he's done. Like, he's literally done. So yeah, but
and
watch.
not knowing this relationship secret virtually guarantees he'll always find a reason to ignore you or just plain shut you out, no matter how hard you try to connect with him. Right here in this free relationship saving presentation, I'm going to show you the real reason men pull away and lose interest, and the one simple method I've discovered that can get through any man's emotional armor so he's the one chasing you. Even better.
So dopamine is the chase chemical. So when we create the association in anybody that triggers their dopamine, they want to do more of that. So by triggering his dopamine, he wants more of it, so he goes to her for it. That's the chase mechanism. So the deeper core, the reason why he's not paying attention, dopamine. And then what is the mechanism to, take that anchor, that deeper core? Compliments, but a specific kind in a specific way. Like I said, the book sucked. So I had to make the VSL as valuable as possible. In fact, the VSL was more valuable than the book.
You'll never feel like you're playing games or have to act in a way that isn't.
And again, this is
totally
still
authentic.
on
My
ClickBank.
name is James Bauer. I've
As
been
a
a relationship
top
expert for
relationship
the past
program, it
11
still
years,
converts
specializing in teaching
on
women
Cold
how to
Traffic
instantly
today,
make men
and I wrote
emotionally
it
putty
10
in their
years ago.
hands. The best part about my method is
Okay.
it'll
A few more, and then I'm gonna Santos, I'm gonna put you on I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Now I did this just a few minutes ago. You see the video of me? Yep.
Do you have male menopause? If you're over 39 years old,
So we're 5 minutes in, and positioning is the hook. Menopause is the hook. You see it on the caption, on the text, not the caption, on the text I put on the screen. And then it goes immediately into easy demo self-identification. So high awareness.
every single year as men, we lose a predictable amount, like 1% of our testosterone
It has to feel natural.
every single year. You have to keep or get back your testosterone reserves free in total to maintain or get back your drive and desire, your libido, that feeling of being a man, of being.
Now, this is all off the cuff. I don't script myself. If you show me a product, chances are I'll know about it. And if I don't, I'll figure it out quickly by starting with mechanism and unpack it from there, and then figure out where is the controversy, where is the conspiracy and smoking gun, where's the simple, very simple identification factors on a daily basis. Like, we talk about age. The first thing you do when you look in the mirror is, how do I look today? Right? No matter what skincare you're selling, that's just off the dome. A lot of people will raise their hands to that. And it's not hitting people over the head with the direct response, but it's utilizing direct response. It's utilizing direct response principles to create that self-identification, which is the mirror neuroning, the empathy cells.
Curious about life, wanting to go get it. All of that disappears when menopause takes hold. This is shit gold.
So I'm 29 seconds into it, and I'm already to the offer.
It's from the Himalayas. This stuff is capable of helping
I'm drinking it right now.
Testosterone, dopamine, and quite frankly, serotonin, all of our drive, desire, libido, hormones, and neurotransmitters.
How do you make a hormone?
Those neurotransmitters play just as you can see, this is a tarish looking resin, and it's not very pleasant tasting on its own. But when I take a little scoop of this, I put it in my tea. I add.
So, back in the day when like Fiverr first came out and people were using these ridiculous scripted canned testimonials trying to get people to act, it was before UGC really took over, before UGC was even a term, user generated content. And so what they got was a bunch of bullshit, stuff that they absolutely could not use, or if they did, they were, first of all, making illegal claims, and second of all, it was just god awful because nobody understood how to do this stuff. Now, if you're looking at what's working, again, if you're running anything on Facebook, so TikTok, YouTube, you're running these types of videos. You can do the longer form, more traditional VSLs that maybe have B-roll or stock footage or with voiceover. I mean, you can even do like what I showed you with Jordan's Be Irresistible Relationship Rewrite method. You can do it. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you have to run lots of short videos that have lots of different openings. Now, I'm going to show you before we go here, I'm going to take a script or write some copy. Let's just write it. And then use the GPT machine for positioning prompts so that we can see how we can leverage ourselves and quickly build something out. But let me just show you a few more because it's really important to see all the different ways that I just freely enter any conversation. I'm an advertising copywriter, and I've worked for all the big skincare companies. So instead of being a doctor, I'm an advertising copywriter. That hook is positioning. Positioning is the hook. I'm going to tell you all the things that they don't want you to know about why this shouldn't touch human skin. Sunscreen companies haven't created
This is
a
powerful.
new type of sunscreen since 1999. And since 1999, all of these sunscreen companies right here, we got a lot of really popular sunscreens, right? Well, these ones right here contain avobenzone. Now, right there, this one ingredient is in 70% of all the popular chemical sunscreens. And if you're using it, it degrades and it becomes more toxic to human skin, or as toxic than UV. So because of the free radical production, it produces infinitely more free radicals. That's the reason why. That's the deeper reason why. That's tied to my deeper core. That avobenzone, free radicals. Avobenzone, deeper core, free radicals, deeper reason why. Mechanism is the hero ingredient, anarcticine, which creates a chiroprotective layer on the skin, helping it breathe and lock in moisture while rejecting all the toxins from getting in, including UVA specifically. So lots of ways that I can utilize that positioning. One more.
Cool. Yep.
Okay. Summer's over. I don't need sunscreen anymore. It's not true. Actually, so a sunscreen company needs to be making year round like any other company. Well, what I discovered was UVA, they're 365 days a year. Doesn't matter what day it is, what year it is, what time of year it is. Took me a while to get there. That's what she said. No, she didn't. UVA rays are always peaking. UVB are the UV burn, so I distinguished it. You need sunscreen more in the gloomy months, the fall and winter months, and even the beginning of spring, more than you do in the summer months. And I'm going to tell you why. It's called the cloud edge effect. I had never heard about it either. It's when So all I did here was take something nobody's ever heard of and make it the deeper core, the deeper reason why your dark spots are sprouting up more in the fall and winter. Just have to go through thick clouds, and it intensifies UVA rays, causing more intense UV. And that's the deeper reason why. Damage, especially the formation of dark spots underneath our skin. Worse than that, these rays are degrading or accelerating the deterioration of our type 1 collagen, which thins the lipid skin barrier. And that's our natural UVA protection. So we're losing more of our natural UVA protection every year and developing more photoaging, hyperpigmentation, and dark spots during these darker months. So again, the value proposition needs to be clear. I need to know why and what and how. Where do I pay? And there are so many ways to achieve that through self-identification, through symbols. What symbols are going to get me to raise my hand and be like, hey, baby, that's May. That's why we test.
Yeah.
All right. You had a question, Santos?
No, we were supposed to get onto those positioning prompts.
Yep. Okay. So let's say, I didn't show you this one. So let's just use this as an example. This is magnesium flakes. This is one of the top selling products on the TikTok shop. So if anybody watches this, needs to make some money, talk to Ella about how to season your TikTok account, how to build a TikTok account that gets approved for shop quickly. I think she does it in like a week. And then you start posting your actual videos. Now, the videos I just showed you are what I post, or some of what I post on TikTok. I did one for this earlier. Now, I looked at it and I immediately knew what my positioning was. Now, here in the States, I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, and it's certainly me. I love taking baths, and I love salt baths, Epsom salts. You know, I love all the different salts to get my magnesium levels up, because magnesium is such a critical part of everything. In fact, this stuff right here, this is for activation products. I wrote for them 10 plus years ago. It was magnesium infusion, and then the name changed to ease. And this is magnesium hexahydrate. Water molecules match the structure of human cells. makes it extremely bioavailable. This is magnesium chloride. So for transdermal, this is going to be more bioavailable than the magnesium sulfate and Epsom salts. Now, Epsom salts are a high awareness symbol. It's also low hanging fruit because a lot of people buy Epsom salts for their baths. It's a huge industry. They put different ingredients in with them, essential oils. There's lots of things that you could do. You can mix CBN and CBG, derived from hemp, so that we can get those cannabinoid ingredients transdermally, which is the largest organ. The skin is the largest organ and the most effective way to get nutrients into the blood. So throw your Epsom salts away. They don't work. Epsom salts literally can't give you the energy or the ability to relax that you're looking for. Epsom's why? Simple. They're not bioavailable, which means they aren't magnesium, the spark of energy and relaxation, never gets into your bloodstream, right? So there's the value proposition. Very, very quick, simple, easy. There's lots of different ways that I could write that. So let me take this. Let's go over to the GPT machine. I'm writing Facebook ads for my magnesium flakes product. It uses magnesium CHL. Yeah, Mark doesn't know how to spell. Chloride minerals to help people's cells relax and infuse the spark of energy inside of our cells, aka mitochondria. Here's the copy for the beginning of my VSL, or video advertising. Please rewrite this opening, maintaining the Epsom salt positioning, as many people take baths using it and expect amazing results. Results they will never get. In the 10 versions that you write, I want you to say the same thing in completely different ways, so the most people with the same most different people with the same problem can raise their hands. It's also worth using the fact that magnesium is the spark of energy and relaxation in different ways. So I'm just specifying So positioning is the prompt, and I'm using my copy to tell it the positioning. So I'm telling the GPT machine what is going to make this effective. And I'm asking it, and I'm giving it very specific parameters to explore its wiggle room. So I know that sounds kind of confusing. Throw your Epsom salts out. They're not helping you relax or recharge. Why? Epsom salts lack the bioavailable magnesium your body needs. The truth is, without magnesium, the true spark of energy and relaxation, you're missing out on a deeper relief and lasting vitality. Okay, I can spice that up. Yeah, like it's usable. Epsom salts are the problem, not the solution. Love it.
Yep.
That might be my first line. Think they're helping you relax. Think again. Epsom salts can't deliver magnesium where it matters. Your cells. Oh yeah, and without magnesium, the key to calm, sleep, and cellular energy, you're stuck in the stress mode. We didn't even talk about the stress mode and how much cortisol you're under when you're in stress and how that depletes magnesium. That can be another form, another way of positioning. Like you got stress sweat, you're actually leaking magnesium, and it's the reason why you can't relax, you can't sleep, much less have any dependable energy. That's why you're always looking for coffee, energy drinks, whatever it takes to kind of get through the day. Right? Boom. Easy. So we're nearing the top of the hour. I just wanted to give you some insights into this. Santos, before we go, actually, what would you do with this positioning prompt? Let's finish. Let's flesh out a quick video. What would you do next?
You mean what would I talk about next? This VSL.
Yeah. So magnesium chloride is extremely bioavailable. Let's take this copy. Let's go over here. We're just going to use this copy right here. Throw your Epsom salts away. They're keeping you stuck, tired, tense, and restless. Nope. All the results you really want from your baths are lost. Magnesium is the secret to energy and relaxation. But Epsom salts aren't bioavailable, meaning so the magnesium never gets into your bloodstream. And your cells and body never get the spark they need. After all, magnesium is literally the spark of energy. I'm using magnesium right now, just telling you about it. Now, check this out real fast. Throw your Epsom salts away. They don't do anything. They don't help you have more energy. They don't help you relax. And they certainly don't help you feel more cognitively alive in your lane of genius. This stuff does. This is magnesium chloride. Epsom salts are magnesium sulfate, not bioavailable. Magnesium chloride easily gets into our skin and into our blood. In just a few seconds that it's taken me to make this video, I have used up a massive amount of magnesium. If I do not replenish it every single night, I will not have the energy. Yeah, it takes energy to relax. I will not have the energy to sleep, and I definitely won't feel alive tomorrow. I'm gonna feel like magnesium chloride will detoxify our blood, our cells, and give us the fuel to think, to have memory, to have energy, and to have the ability to relax. That includes quieting down anxiety and panic attacks, something like people like me who have ADHD, who are on the spectrum. Relaxing is one of the most difficult things to do. Emotional regulation is something that I work hard at. There's somebody in my mastermind group that's working on an ADHD product, Santos. You know who I'm talking about. That right there, if we wanted to go after neurodivergence, ADHD, you know, one of the what are things people with ADHD given? They're given meth, which wires them up. Let's just go over quickly to our GPT machine and ask it a quick question. just out of curiosity. Oh, and look at that.
Oh my God.
Adderall depletes people's magnesium levels, which means people with ADHD who are taking Adderall,
Begin and worse.
they can't relax. They can't
Never
sleep.
relax.
Yeah, they're constantly pumped full of cortisol. Can you imagine how uncomfortable it would be to be in a body that's constantly revved up but not energized? It's
Sort of
mad.
like mentally constipated, you know.
Yes. If I could spell Adderall, that would be just, how do you spell it?
That would be an awesome thing.
Adderall. Okay, it spells exactly as it sounds. That's good.
You got to try it the first time.
Let's just, I'll forget. Let's just take a look at that real fast. Are you taking Adderall for ADHD? Boom. First line of the VSL. Are you taking Adderall, a high awareness symbol for ADHD, for ADHD? Self-identification, mirror neuroning, hand raising. Hey, baby. All right. So what does that mean? Right here, we can do anything we want with prospects, by the way, with that opening. We can take them on lots of different journeys, user experiences. That's a term, Santos, you hear it all the time. I don't even think I've dropped it once today. The UX. We want to test out UX. How many different ways can you just say that one sentence? I mean, let's just see.
What if, like, how many ways can you skin a cat?
Are you using Adderall to help focus and stay on track with your ADHD? Added more identification factors. Focus. Stay on track. No more procrastinating. Don't stop. Don't sit down. You'll just obsess over the fact that you're just sitting there and you're sitting there and you're sitting there and you're sitting there. Is Adderall a part of your daily routine to cope with ADHD? Cope. Love the word. It immediately evokes that feeling of, well, this isn't what I really want. I don't want to cope. I want to thrive. Okay. Are you taking Adderall to manage the challenges of ADHD? Weak, but still usable. Do you use Adderall to focus better and stay in control with ADHD? Yes. That's very relatable, hand raisable. Is Adderall your go-to solution for ADHD and focus issues? Are you prescribed Adderall to navigate? Are you depending on Adderall? Ooh, I love that one. To keep ADHD symptoms in check. That's powerful because I don't want to have to take a pill in order to be okay. I want to be okay.
Yep.
So if we go back over here, oh, and by the way, if I tell it, okay, so instead of continue to write what came next, which was obvious, I just use what I already had in its memory as a prompt so that I can continue building my VSL quickly, my VSLs quickly, because I'm going to quickly have a lot here to test. Do you rely on Adderall to manage ADHD symptoms? Love the word rely, like dependent. You may not realize it, but Adderall could be depleting your magnesium, the mineral that fuels relaxation, energy, and cellular balance, cellular vitality, cellular aging, right? We can get into the whole aging conversation. Are you taking Adderall to keep ADHD check? While it helps your brain, focus, it quietly draining magnesium, the essential spark of relaxation and cellular energy, right? So it's taking what I've given it, and it's doing exactly what I used to tell it to do with my positioning prompt. So you get an idea. Then we go back over here. Let's actually take that. Are you prescribed Adderall to manage ADHD? It might sharpen your focus. But it's also robbing you of your cells of magnesium. I don't like the literal spark of energy, cellular energy in your entire body. Even worse, Adderall revs us up and makes us versions of ourselves we're constantly regretting, right? So get into the emotional makeup of somebody dealing with ADHD and, you know, the feeling of being taken over by this pill and acting, lashing out and acting in ways that you don't like. Things like feeling angry and distracted all the time. Giving someone your full attention, then being somewhere else entirely and no idea how you got there. You keep telling yourself, okay, I'm gonna do the dishes, but I need to eat first. Then I'll do the dishes. But I feel gross. So I need to take a shower first. 30 minutes goes by and you're beating yourself up for not doing anything. Oh, we don't want those. Well, did you know the best way to deal with Adderall's effect depleting, with Adderall depleting your magnesium levels, is by simply taking a bath? And right there, there's another way of positioning. Did you know you can deal with your ADHD just by taking a bath? Did you know you can manage your ADHD symptoms just by taking a bath? Did you know you can address the core of your ADHD symptoms just by taking a bath? Did you know taking a bath can actually address and help manage your ADHD symptoms at their core? Do you see all the different ways that I can quickly dress it up? So in just a little bit of time, I've unpacked all these different ways of entering the conversation, of positioning the conversation, symbols to get self-identification. But did you know the best way to help deal with Adderall depleting magnesium? But not Epsom salts. Those literally don't do anything. I use micro ingredients, magnesium flakes. They're the most bioavailable form of magnesium you can bathe in. What's amazing is, as you lie there in your piping hot bath, your cells are getting refueled with the magnesium you use up every single day. By giving your body the magnesium it needs to create energy, cortisol levels plummet, letting you finally relax, probably for the first time in years or even decades.
Wow.
Grab a bag, a 6-pound bag of these magnesium miracle flakes now. And then we take this, we go over here. And I didn't read the script, and I know the script needs work, but I'm showing you how quick and easy it is. And the most important thing to get out of this positioning is the hook. You can say, do you have ADHD? Do you struggle with memory, with focus, with getting things done? You can waste your time and waste your ad dollars and waste other people's ad dollars with that dribble. Or you can figure out the symbols that are going to create the automatic association that gets people instantly in the conversation that they're already having in their minds, as the cliche goes. This is a quick and easy way to do it. This is Santos. You look at this first script. Does that look testable?
Very, very testable.
Yeah. And again, as we've done this in less than, I don't know, the actual writing part, less than a half hour, you know, you can see I can whip out these VSLs like crazy. I can do it off the cuff like crazy. So, you know, it's like, if you want to help people make the most money, if you're a copywriter, if you're an offer owner and you're writing your own copy, you need to understand what positioning is going to get the most people to raise their hands. You notice, like with the Adderall positioning, I could just as easily go after people who have sleep problems. You have insomnia, have anxiety, a busy mind, a noisy mind, all the voices telling you to do this, telling you to do that. What's the best way to deal with anxiety? What if I told you the best way to deal with anxiety aren't SSRIs, but your bathtub? Right? So now I'm getting people who take SSRIs or some sort of prescription medication because they will all self-identify. And then I get new and late adopters, which is universal appeal. Don't ever think in broader niche. Think in terms of awareness and appeal. New adopters, late adopters. Late adopters already tried everything. New adopters haven't tried anything. Their stories converge, or one symbol, which means something, one thing to one of them means something completely different to the other one. Like this one, yeah, I did all that, and now I understand why they don't work. And then you knew caused it. And then this side's like, oh, I'm glad I know all those things don't work, so I can go straight to this mechanism, which addresses the deeper core. What's the deeper core of not being able to sleep? Well, if you don't have enough magnesium, your body literally can't relax. That's why you feel like you're going crazy, because you're like, I've done everything to relax and nothing works because you don't have magnesium. So get in your bathtub, get the water as hot as you can, and let the magnesium get into your blood, into your cells, so that you have the energy to finally relax. Micro ingredients, magnesium flakes, the energy to relax.